First and foremost, I would like to welcome our chief guest for the day, Dr. Mashelkar. He's a Padma Vibhushan and former Director General of CSIR, as well as Chancellor of my alma mater, Institute of Chemical Technology. Also, a warm welcome to our Chamber's Advisory Board members, Dr. Prakash Kondekar, Professor Smita Lele, Prabodh Halde, and others. Would also like to welcome the people who are attending and watching us here on Zoom, and others who are watching us on the YouTube channel of the Chamber. I will take a couple of minutes to introduce about our Chamber, which was founded in 2020 with a sole function and objective to work for the SMEs, the small medium enterprises. Just one second. And I'm very happy to share that in less than a year or just above a year, we have conducted more than 260 different events, be it leadership talks like what we have today, as well as buyer-seller meets for various industries, technology transfer programs. And we have also launched our quarterly magazine. And in fact, today we will be launching our 4th issue, which was started in August 2021. The first one came out in August, the next in October, the third came out in Jan. And today we are privileged to publish our 4th quarterly magazine, which is also dedicated towards women entrepreneurs. And so it's called Skywards. And I'm very honored that it will get published at the hands of Dr. Mashelkar. So I would like to welcome sir. Sir, if with your kind permission, we would try to launch our magazine here. So I'll just share the screen, and sir, if you can announce that the official magazine is launched, I would like to flip through the books pages. It's a special edition and actually covering a lot of different women in various fields, especially in entrepreneurship. In fact, we have a pilot who has given her journey. We have many other women entrepreneurs who have also been covered in this magazine. So, Dr. Mashelkar, I think you are on mute since I.
I'm delighted to have this opportunity and indeed a privilege to launch this special issue, April-June 2022, titled Skywards. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mashelkar. And I would like to quickly breeze through where our editor is also a woman, Ms. Rupa Kanvinde. And we have featured Ms. Joshi also in here, who's considered as a Metro woman, Mumbai Metro woman. We also have people from armed forces and police and various different women who have been covered here. So thank you very much. This will be available shortly in a PDF format, as well as this flipbook link will also be forwarded to all our members and others who are present here. And a hard copy will also be printed, and sir, we will deliver it to you as well, and to all our authors and all our other supporters. So with this, now I would like to invite Dr. Kondekar. Sir, floor is yours, and please introduce our speaker. And everybody here is eager to hear to sir. So over to you, Dr. Kondekar. Sir, you're on mute.
Yeah, sorry. Well, I think Dr. Alka Naik has joined from Maldives. She is on way to Maldives, I think. Welcome, Alka.
Yes, yes. I am on the way.
Hello. Dr. Yadav also has joined. Everybody, welcome. And I'll try to take this unique opportunity, because the introducing a Padma Vibhushan person, a towering personality, is a difficult task. And to introduce Dr. Mashelkar, I think it is not necessary also, but as a formality, we have to do that. And I met Dr. Mashelkar about 25 years before in Marathi Vignan Parishad, and thereafter on various forums and many platforms, particularly like CCMB in Hyderabad, and then I think National Institute for Technical Education, and then NITI, National Institute for Industrial Engineering, my alma mater, so there, and also along with him, former President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was also there. So it was nice to have a conversation. In fact, once it had happened that I was traveling to USA, and he was coming from Europe, and early morning he was coming and I was going, and what a pleasant surprise it was, he said, and that was again an accidental made over there. So now I'll officially introduce Dr. Mashelkar. Before that, I would like to tell something about on building IPR competitive India, a 5-point agenda, because this was one of the talks given by Dr. Mashelkar in one of the IPR award functions of CII. So in those 5 points, I'll just say last paragraph where he has said, to propel us into the next millennium, the I in India, the I in India should not stand for imitation and innovation. It must stand for innovation. The I in IIT must stand for innovation, and I in industry must stand for again innovation. Then I in every individual Indian must stand for innovation. So everywhere he has covered that aspect, and that innovation, he has given that mantra in few years before, and still he continued to do that. Then it is only this innovative India that will signal to the rest of the world that we are not hesitant nation, unsure of our in the new global order, but confident one that is raring to be a leader in the committee of nations. This is a new India that we should build, Atmanirbhar Bharat and Atma Vishwas with Atma Sanman. So those are his words, and these things are still remaining, and now I'll introduce him formally. Dr. Mashelkar, National Research Professor for the longest serving from 1995 to 2006. He was the Director General of the Council for CSIR, that is Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, and Chairman of the National Innovation Foundation from 2000 to 2018, longest term. He was the President of the Indian National Science Academy 2004 to 2006, as also the President of the Global Research Alliance from 2007 to 2018. The CSIR transformed during 1990 and has been listed among the top 10 achievements, and that was the great creation of Dr. Mashelkar. Then 45 universities from around the world have honored him with the honorary doctorates. Wonderful.
It's very
universities
nice.
like
Yes.
London, Stalford, Pretoria, Wisconsin, I have not heard that name also. Swinburne, Monash, and of course Delhi. Dr. Mashelkar has many firsts to his credit, and he was the first Indian to win the highest science prize by the World Academy of Science. First Indian from India to be elected as a fellow of the US National Academy of Inventors 2017. First Asian scientist to win the Business Week USA Award of Star of Asia at the hands of George Bush Sr., great, the former president of USA, and the first and the only scientist to win the JRD Tata Corporate Leadership Award 1998. Salute to you, sir. So these are many awards and achievements. I will not take much time, and the President of India honored Dr. Mashelkar with Padma Bhushan in 1991, with Padma Bhushan, Padma Shri in 1991, Padma Bhushan, and the Padma Vibhushan in 2010. So I present Dr. Mashelkar to you. Thank you, sir, and floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed for that very kind introduction. May I share my screen, please? I think I read here that host has disabled participant screen sharing. So if you can just allow me to share the screen, I have a PowerPoint presentation.
Yes, sir, we have allowed. Yeah.
Allowed? Oh, thank you.
Oswal ji, namaste.
Nilesh, can you see that?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Oh, very good.
Namaskar, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Dr. Kondekar, you gave me a great start by talking about my penchant for innovation. That was the JRD Tata
My pleasure, sir.
Award. So thank you very much indeed. I'm grateful to the chamber for giving me this opportunity. It's remarkable what Nilesh said. Within 2 years, the number of events that you have been able to hold is absolutely incredible. And by the way, I must say that Dr. Kondekar was kind enough to share with me in advance the journal issue that was released just now. And I have gone from page to page, and it is so inspiring. It is amazingly inspiring. I remember my Indian Science Congress presidential lecture where I talked about new Panchasheel for the new millennium in year 2000. And that was child-centered education, woman-centered family, human-centered development, knowledge-centered India, and knowledge-centered society and innovation-centered India. And with regard to the section on the women empowerment, what they can do for India, I had said that India of the 21st century cannot walk on one leg. It has to walk on two legs, not only that, not just walk, but run. And therefore, the magnificent way in which you have brought out the contribution of women in diverse fields is absolutely incredible. So I want to congratulate you warmly. The subject I've taken, of course, is on innovation. But innovation for what? Innovation can be used for a number of things, including inclusion, including competitiveness, including growth, and so on. But I have picked up the topic of innovation-led growth, but innovation-led exponential growth, because India cannot go linearly. It has to go exponentially and expand very rapidly. Now, are you able to see the next slide?
Yes, we are able to see.
Okay, yeah. If you see, the exponential word is becoming very common, and there are 10 exponential technologies which are changing our world. Whether it is Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, robotics, process automation, sensors, 3D visualization, mobile internet, blockchain, etc., etc. And the important point about all this is that the acceleration is being achieved where the performance is going up sharply and the prices are going down sharply, or the costs are going down sharply. For example, if you see the computing field, Moore's law, the number of transistors doubles every 2 years, annual improvements 41.4%, and you can see the exponential growth of transistors that we have. If you look at the technological cost curves, they are reducing exponentially. The performance is going up exponentially. The costs are reducing exponentially. For example, the rate at which technologies improve over time, per dollar basis, as you can see, it was rather slow. But now, as you can see, it is very, very rapid. And see, for instance, in the previous case, the data storage reducing by 50% every 18 months. Digital imaging cost reducing by 59% every year. Network capacity 50% every 9 months. And similarly, lithium-ion batteries. So I think the important point I want to make is that the technology is rapidly sort of changing, becoming affordable, and that leads to universalization. All right, then because it becomes technology for all, because if technology is just kept for some selected few privileged people, then it doesn't really help. And you can see sensor is the best example. I've taken data from a fantastic presentation that I saw for just 7 years. You can see the number of sensors have gone up by 1,000. The cost has come down by 1,000. The power consumption per sensor has gone down by 1,000. And the physical size has gone down by 1,000. It is not 1,000%, it is 1,000. So that's what I mean by exponential. Now, while this is happening in terms of exponential technology, what's happening to enterprises? And if you see, the best example is Reliance. And we can now talk about exponential technology to exponential growth in enterprises. If you see, Reliance did the IPO in 1977. It was just 12 million. Then it went to fabric of the reach for common Indians, polyester they introduced. After that, they went into refining and got India on the global refining map. Jamnagar is the refining capital of the world. And then into oil and gas exploration in order to create energy security for India. Then they went into retail. They became the largest retailer serving India. And then, of course, Jio is a classic study for any textbook, digitalizing India. And now they are moving into new energy. You must have seen Mukesh Ambani's sort of announcements with regard to the heady dreams that he has. So if you can see, for example, from a small enterprise in 77, how it has grown exponentially. Now, if you look at the market cap of Reliance, and by the way, if you go to the YouTube and look at the Asia Economic Dialogue, which was held about a month ago between me and Mukesh Ambani in the inaugural session, you will find Mukesh Bhai mentioning about the exponential growth of market cap of Reliance. For example, it took 15 years to build a market cap of $1 billion. But then 1 to 10 billion, they did it in the next 15 years, tenfold, by the way, not 10%. And then from 10 to 100 billion in just 5 years, and 100 to 200 billion in 3 years. This is what I mean by the exponential. And can India, can small enterprises, medium enterprises achieve such rate of growth? That is the theme that I have in my talk today. Now, if you see, there is this innovation as a sort of core strategy of Reliance, and there is this Reliance Innovation Council, of which I've been the chairman. And this is a photograph at the inauguration of the Innovation Leadership Center, from where I'm speaking at the moment. And if you see, their sort of motto was growth is life. And then we brought in this innovation as a way of life. Now, if you combine the two, it becomes innovation-led growth. But it has not remained innovation-led growth. It has become innovation-led exponential growth, as you can see. And what it means is that if you are doing incremental innovation, you will have only incremental growth. You have to do disruptive innovation, game-changing innovation to get exponential growth. And that's what they are actually achieving. In fact, I remember in one of the talks that Mukesh Bhai and I had, we were talking and he said, Doc, we must leapfrog or something. I forget the context now. So I said, Mukesh Bhai, let us think together as to why does the frog leap? He leaps because he's afraid of the predator. He jumps a few feet in defense. Should we be doing that? Should we be afraid of our competitors and just jump a few feet? Or should we pole vault? The size of the pole is the size of your aspiration. And you can go miles if you do that. And he loved it, actually. And we created, I was inspired by our conversation. And we created this book, Leapfrogging to Pole Vaulting, by the way, creating the magic of radical yet sustainable transformation. Here is the endorsement by Ratan Tata. Like so many others have also endorsed this book, including Nobel laureates. And interestingly, this book won the Business Book of the Year award. Not bad for a scientist to win the Business Book of the Year award. Of course, my co-author, Mr. Ravi Pandit, whom you see here on my left, is a co-author and he's from industry. And this book became extremely popular because there was a new message there that आपण मराठीत ज्याला म्हणतो बेडूकुडी घ्यायची नाही तर हनुमान उडी घ्यायची. So how do you do that Hanuman udi? That is the essence of the book. And I remember we created a program called Beyonders, which was leadership, because this is a leadership lecture. So Beyonders. What does it mean? It means create leaders who are able to think beyond the realms of possibilities. So our objective was to create 100 innovation leaders who will pole vault and not just leapfrog. We'll give them massive opportunities through growth initiatives. And there is what is called as a Reliance way of doing things, Reliance way of innovation. What does it mean? It means setting unreasonable goals, challenging conventional wisdom. It's very easy to get ordinary people to do ordinary things, or for extraordinary people to do extraordinary things. But to get ordinary people to do extraordinary things, very difficult. How do you do that? And suffer from divine discontent, never be satisfied, and convert adversity into opportunity. So we created these sort of leadership sort of programs. And did we pole vault? Yes, indeed. If you look at mobile data consumption, we're here. The rest of the world was here. Came Geo, and we pole vaulted to #1 position from 155th. So we did not leapfrog from 155th to 100. We just pole vaulted to #1 position in February 17. And 50 million users, if you see, telephone took 50 years, mobile took 12 years, YouTube took 4 years, Facebook took 3 years, Twitter took 2 years. And books were written, chapters were written on how they achieved it so fast. Sorry, the chapters have to be rewritten now because Reliance Jio did it in 83 days. There's a great innovation in doing that. And then, of course, it is not just heroic that you pole vault. You have to create effect. And they created this rapid, disruptive, inclusive innovation for access to all. If you just see the scene before Jio and after Jio, 4G multi-phone was $300, was brought down to $23. Data per GB, cheapest in the world, as you can see. And the voice expenditure was brought down to 0. And that meant actually the digital world for all, not just for select few. Now, the paradigm shift in the Indian innovation journey, therefore, we have been followers, not leaders, in technology. Somehow or the other, we have to, and then we took pride in the fact that we became fast followers. What did it mean? Supposing there is a new drug comes in, within 18 months, we are able to reproduce it. Why? Because we did not have product pattern. We have only process patterns. So we're sharp in chemistry, all right? So we're the fastest, by the way, in the world. And that helped us building the generic industry. But we did not create our own new molecules. We did not create our new. So that I think we have to do, and we have to become a leader, not just follow. Copying, and copying. And then from leapfrogging, we have to move to pole vaulting. So from following to pole vaulting is the journey that we have to take. Now, what are the characteristics and impact of pole vaulting? First, it is a revolution, not just renovation. Okay, you don't make 10% change, you make 10-fold change. Second, it is new to the world, not just to company or country. We are very fond of saying, oh, I did it for the first time in Shukravarpet. I did it first time in Pune. I did it first time in Maharashtra. I did it first time in India. Sorry, no. Can we do it first time in the world? Third, unprecedented cost performance features, not just marginal cost, not just 10%, 10-fold. Next, entirely new products and services, not just tinkering and modifying a bit, but really major change. And finally, we always take pride in, oh, I follow the best practice. Best practice, I follow DuPont's practice, best practice. That means you are a follower. You are following their best practice. Can we create our next practice, basically, which becomes the best practice for the rest of the world? All this looks like a heady stuff. And then we say, don't keep on giving us examples of Reliance who have deep pockets and so on and so forth, etc. We are small and medium enterprises. We are small. Can we do something like this? I can assure you we can do something like this. And I will give you real examples because today we talk about startups, small enterprises, which are having the aspiration of growing. Just look at, in my mother's name, I created Anjani Mashelkar Inclusive Innovation Award. And I said that will not be given to best practice. It will be given to next practice. It has to be breakthrough. And it has to make high technology work for the poor. So it has to be affordable, accessible, adaptable, and so on and so forth. And I'll just give you, this is the 11th year of the award. It's a small award of 1 lakh, but it has caught the imagination. In fact, early this month, there is a cover page story, Civil Society magazine, which I gave to Prakash Rao when he had visited me. And I'll send you a link also where this entire story has been captured. If you look at best practice to next practice, all these young people, by the way, all of them are small enterprise people who have created these. And I'll just take you through this. Take Mishkin Ingal. He created this Touch HB. All right. What did it do? Hemoglobin test, when you want, what is the best practice that you have and what is the next practice you created? Best practice is invasive with needles. Somebody will come and take your blood in the morning. Next practice is no needles, without needle. Cost per test will be 150 rupees, let us say. He said 10 rupees, affordable. And here he created this particular device, as you can see. You just touch, this is called Touch HB. Just touch the sensor and it tells you what is the best practice. And you can quite clearly see what difference it can make in, for example, villages, where many times women are reluctant to give their blood. But from that, again, your best practice cannot remain best practice. Somebody will take you on. So you have to create yourself next practice. And what is the next practice he created? This camera. It captures the picture of conjunctiva and uses the method of reflectance photometry to estimate hemoglobin content in blood. Can you just imagine, in a village, All that you have to do is to place this camera. Someone comes, looks into the camera and knows what the hemoglobin is. Isn't it amazing? And there is another point here. In the first case, you used high technology. In the second case also, you have used high technology. In the first case, photoplethysmography, spectrophotometry, advanced software. Making high technology work for the rich, very easy. Making low technology work for the poor, very easy. He made high technology work for the poor. That's why he got the award. Now, if you see, for example, the next award, Vibhushan. There are many women who die of breast cancer. He created something from best practice to next practice. What was the best practice? Biopsy or mammography, very painful. He said, no, non-invasive. This is the device which touches actually the breast and you know whether you have breast cancer or not. This is called low-cost tactile sensor, which measures tissue stiffness difference in real time, non-invasively and without pain. That is the most important part. It is ultra-portable, accurate, minimal training, wireless, cloud connected, and instant results. And you can see it is going places, it is going to 25 countries now. So Indian next practice benefiting the world will become the best practice as well. Our Indian mind is capable of creating that. The last one, I'm just showing you 3. I could have given 11 examples because each example is that. This is award being given to Rahul Rastogi. This is my wife Vaishali and Professor Anil Gupta, who I consider as a guru in innovation, and Jayant Umranikar, International Longevity Center, India. You know, I've been the president here, the chairman. So we're giving this award away to Rahul. What did he do? He moved from best practice to next practice. What is the best practice when you want to take ECG? You lie down, there's a 12-lead ECG, then comes a nurse and takes half an hour to take all your readings and so on and so forth. He said, no, I will just have a device which touches my heart. I touch the sensors in a particular way. Here it is, all right? And you touch these 2 sensors with your thumbs for 15 seconds and also above and below your heart for 15 seconds each. And if you have downloaded an app, actually it goes to so this is the new device that he created. And this has, by the way, 2 lakh such devices have been sold in 8 countries now. You can just imagine what it means. And this is the new device that he has actually created. I think the main point is that if you go back to the slide that I had talked about, what I asked for, I said not incremental, disruptive. These are all disruptive technology. And these are done by small startups, not by Reliances of this world. I said you take the price performance envelope completely. I mean, when you talk about 5 rupees, 10 rupees, $1, but the performance is equal to the top. They have done it. I said move from best practice to next practice. They have done it. So it does not take a Mukesh Ambani to achieve all this. This is possible. And many of these are going global, as you can quite clearly see. So you can do it, provided you remember what I had said there. I, in every individual, I in industry, I in India, should not stand for inhibition. It should not stand for imitation, copying. No, it must stand for innovation. These are brilliant examples. I want to give you the confidence that this is actually possible. Now you would say you are talking about pole vaulting. Hare Baba, how are you sure that when you jump, you drop in the wrong way and don't break your back? So if you look at the book, Leapfrogging to Pole Vaulting, there is a chapter 3, which says how you can make sure that you'll be assured of a success and you will not break a back. So there's a assured innovation framework that is affordable, scalable, sustainable, universal, rapid, excellence in terms of technology, and distinctive. 7 of these, all right? Now, each one of these are quantitatively measurable. For example, if you look at Jio, is it affordable? Yes. Voice is free, 4 rupees per GB. Is it scalable? Yes. Almost 450 million customers use it. Is it sustainable? Yes, of course, it is making profit. Is it universal user friendly? Yes. You can see this lady from a Juggi and this smart rich girl, both of them using it. Is it rapid? Yes. You saw it in 83 days, how they move. Is it excellence? Yes. 4G LTE, the best technology. Is it distinctive? Yes, it is. So this is the assured matrix where you get all green, but that is not always the case. You have to realize that you are fully assured only with total innovation. That means it is not just technology innovation. Each one of the enterprises in the chamber must realize that it is not just technology innovation, but business model innovation, system delivery innovation, workflow innovation, process innovation, organization innovation, and policy innovation. So it has to be total innovation. And there are emerging digital business model innovations. For example, there is a cost model, which many of these top companies use. There's an experience model, which many of these companies use. There's a platform model. So when we talk about innovation, just don't think about technological innovation. There are business model innovations that can make a big, big difference. And if you can't believe it, I'll give you the examples. For example, these are the pole vaulting business model innovation. What is world's largest taxi company? It owns no taxis. Uber. They have conquered the world. Which is the largest accommodation provider? It owns no real estate. Airbnb. What is world's most valuable retailer? Alibaba. It has no inventory. World's largest movie house owns no cinema. Netflix. All of us survived on Netflix during the pandemic. And largest phone companies, Skype, WeChat, and of course, now we are using Zoom and a whole range of sort of other things. Now, these were all based on business model innovation. Technology backed it up, but they were not strictly technological innovation. Technology was put to use. So I want to emphasize that when you look at innovation, please don't think that it is just technology. Now, the assured test, if you see our chapter 3, if you are not assured, you will fail. Just take 2 examples. All these companies were successful companies and they all failed today. And in the book, we explain why that is so. Because when you use the matrix, they don't meet some of these criteria. You know, take, for example, Google Glass. Okay, great company. Was it excellent? Yes, green. Was it distinctive? Yes, terrific. But it failed. Why? Because the rest of them were red. Was it affordable? No. Was it scalable? No. Was it sustainable? No. Was it universal user friendly? No. Because when you're using a Google Glass and you enter a film theater, cinema theater, nobody knew whether you will download the movie while watching it. Or if you are talking to somebody wearing a Google Glass, you would not know whether you are recording what he's saying. So it didn't work. And therefore it was a failure. Even Google was failure. Now the sustainable part you have to understand clearly, because sustainability has to come not just in one other term. Economical. You can't depend upon government subsidies. Don't base your business models on government subsidies. Governments come, subsidies go. Environment. If you are not green, today you might succeed, tomorrow you'll be gone because the regulator will change the norms. Society must accept it. And many times, many of these things can change with politics, with policy. I mean, look at Napster, for example. It was free download of music. Was it affordable? Yes, of course, free is 0. Was it scalable? Yes, 80 million users. Does it exist today? No. Why? It was not sustainable because the society did not accept it. Which society? The Society of Musicians. They said, you can't download my music for free. And from 80 million, they have come to 0. So the point I'm making is that in each of your businesses, you have to see the acid test of Assure. That's number 1. The other thing, continuing with the pole vaulting analogy, now you can see how do you pole vault? You accelerate. And it is the kinetic energy which takes you over the pole, over the bar. But supposing this lady, when she's starting, suddenly something comes in the way. some government policy, some government regulator, somebody nasty doing something, she has to stop. She loses the speed. She can't jump. Then she has to go back again. So what are those barriers, speed breakers? First of all, our own mindset. Supposing there is a new idea and you are brainstorming. First thing people will say will be, oh, it's too risky. Second, there is always this, they're afraid of failure. Oh, supposing it fails. Impossible, never done before. Right? The way I'm connecting with you and talking to you and making this presentation, would I have done it 10 years ago? No. Did Zoom exist 10 years ago? No. Did these technologies exist 10 years ago? No. Somebody has tried it already. And if your English is good and you are scared, you will say, let me play devil's advocate. But all this is a mindset, and we have to know that mindset. Then the common speed breakers that reduces internally complacency. If you are doing well, you say, "Arey, kya hai, business acha chal raha hai." That's what Kodak did. It was a film-based photographic sort of company. And they were creating billions. And they discovered the digital camera themselves. But they were so happy making money that they did not realize that digital camera will take over in the film-based photography will vanish. And where is Kodak today? Nowhere. So complacency, cynicism, risk aversion, vested interests, bureaucracy, restrictive regulations by the government, and policy limitations, they can break your speed. For example, Steve Ballmer, I was on the Microsoft External Research Advisory Board. And I remember meeting Steve Ballmer, a great reader, by the way. He was Microsoft CEO. But when iPhone came, you know what is his reaction? Oh, $500, fully subsidized with a plan. I said that this is the most expensive phone in the world and it doesn't appeal to business customers because it doesn't have a keyboard, which makes it not a very good email machine, because he was looking at the mobile phone just as a good email machine with a keyboard. But in the meantime, you had all breakthrough technologies, including the touch and so on and so forth, etc. They were still stuck. And what happened? It's all gone, and you can see where iPhone is today. The big challenge is, assured, is not static but dynamic matrix. It changes with time, each of these parameters. So the question is, how do we create pole vaulting leaders? The first is that they find opportunities where others see nothing. Second, they convert problems into an opportunity. They're always part of a solution, not part of a problem. They set big goals, not small goals, not 10%, 10x. They drive discontinuity and they bait on risky ideas. That's the leadership. Since this is a leadership lecture, I want to emphasize on creating such pole vaulting leaders. And there is something special about pole vaulting leaders. They do not know that it can't be done. And they see what everyone sees, but think of what no one else thinks. So finally, the key drivers for us is going to be talent, technology, and trust. Talent. US grew by building roads and railways and infrastructure. Sweden's growth was attributed to timber and timber.
Please.
If you look at, for example, Britain, it was textiles. Denmark was milk and milk products. Middle East was oil. What is oil for India? I would say talent. In fact, Atalji used to say India's future is in IT, IT as in information technology. I used to say, yes, it is in IT, but not as in information technology, IT as in Indian talent. So we have that, we have the technology. And if we have the trust in our young people, then we can make it happen. I remember meeting Bill Gates, and he told us an interesting story that he was giving the commencement lecture of the Harvard University. And there he illustrated this talent, technology, and trust. He told them that when I was just 18, 19-year-old, he phoned up a hardware manufacturing company because these were new days and Albuquerque, they were setting the hardware, computer hardware company. And he said, "Oh, you are developing hardware, I will give you the software." And then they said, yeah, but we are not ready. You come after a month. And Bill Gates told us that, look, thank God they said come after a month, because I did not have the software I was promised. That was the trust, that was the confidence that he had in himself. And that company in that young man, because 18, 19-year-old, they could have kept the phone down. Kya baat kar rahe? That was not the case. So I think if we have to build our enterprises and make them grow exponentially, trust is the most important part of it. I think that's very, very sort of important to realize. Talent, technology, and trust. And that is the Microsoft story. And I'm very happy that India, these three factors are coming together. My speech is on exponential, and India's startup ecosystem is becoming exponential. Can you just imagine in 2016, there were 726 startups. Today, 65,000. You can just see the steep rise that we have. Okay, and they are creating jobs. Now, they produce more unicorn. Unicorn, as you know, is $1 billion market cap. They produce more unicorns in 2021 than all previous years put together. And you have seen just in 6 years, 9-fold increase, 900% in number of investors, 700% total funding of startups, and 700% increase in the number of incubators. And that's absolutely wonderful. And actually, 25th March 2022, I have the latest data, 94 unicorns with a total valuation. This is enormous, as a matter of fact. And till 16, 17, we were adding one unicorn every year. Now we add one unicorn every week. That is exponential. And this is the India startup ecosystem at a glance, and one will feel proud in the way we have made, because this is also creating jobs. And if you look at 2021, it was a great year for Indian startups. 20 to 50 tech startups, 42 unicorns were added in 21, and $24 billion funding came, and 58% all tech startups funded raised their first round, up from 13%. And if you see, India added the third highest number of technology startups after US and China, ahead of Israel, UK, and Germany. It's not a fair comparison because Israel is a small country. But still, from nothing, we have come here. And what I'm most interested in, asking a question, is it exclusive to some select sections of the society, privileged section of the society, or is it available to all? Now, 29% all tech startup based outside established hubs. Then, most importantly, I did an analysis when we had 55 unicorns. And to my surprise and great pleasure, I found that 50% came from Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. That means we are talking about Sangli, Satara, Karad, Khed, and places like that. Can you just imagine that? And Nasik. Can you just imagine a 28-year-old young boy coming from Khed, having a market cap of $1 billion? This is democratization of wealth. This is fantastic. And 10 to 15% tech startups have at least one woman founder or co-founder. I'm delighted with that. And in fact, I hope that your great magazine that you have brought out, such factors will be sort of brought in. And 48% of tech startup building solutions for India 1 and India 2 income groups. And you saw that some of the Anjali Mashelkar Inclusive Innovation Awardees were actually creating solutions for the poor, making high technology work for the poor. And they were going global. This is the new India of our dreams. And I'm very happy Maharashtra State Innovation Society, I've been its co-chair. The other chair is the Minister of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, right from its start. And our government has got the most progressive policies for support schemes, by the way, including IPR that Dr. Kondekar was talking about, because it is difficult for young people to find money for patenting, etc. How we are giving up to 2 lakh for domestic and 10 lakh to international patent, giving some financial assistance on quality testing and certification, making life easy for startups. And the other part about startups is that they don't have prior history. It is like Sachin Tendulkar at the age of 15 scoring a century in Ranji Trophy. But then Cricket Control Board would say, but where is your 10-year experience? We can't get into the test. So experience comes in the way when you have the tender process. So we have eliminated that, and there's a special tendering process that we have created. We give them work sort of orders, and government is becoming now a participant. In the last meeting, we have taken some major decisions. And I hope Maharashtra, as usual, will be the leader. There is a assured matrix for enterprises. I'm going to leave this presentation with you. So please, each one of you who are attending on, all members of the chamber, should look at this matrix, affordable. The key parameter, access to everyone. So current price and percentage reduction, unit price, economic attractiveness. This scalable, how you are sort of growing. Sustainable, I give you some parameters. Then universal, company respond to changing customer demand because customer is changing, so user is changing. Rapid, how rapidly you are doing this product development. Excellence in terms of technology. And distinctive, not me too, not copying, but creating like IP protected sort of products, etc. And all this is quantifiable by. And I started using it with there is this Mashelkar committee, which was a standing committee for selecting when Prime Minister announced Swachh Bharat. There was a committee that was created under my chairmanship for this Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation to select the best technologies. So we started using the assured matrix. So if you go to that website and you want to apply for recognition of a technology, you have to fill up the assured matrix, by the way. And that was created by NEERI in terms of affordability. These are quantitative numbers: scalability, sustainability, universality, rapidity, excellence, as well as distinctive. And you have to fill up all these. Okay. Now, this assured application mapping is now rapidly spreading. Research institutes are using it for selecting technologies. Startups are using it for doing SWOT analysis. SMEs are doing it, using it for identifying roadblocks, formulating winning strategy. Corporates like TCS, for example, are using it. Investors are using it for funding decision. Innovation accelerators are using it. Government departments, like I said, are using it. Policymakers are using it. So this assured framework has become quite popular. Now, this is a startup who has this T-shirt, "Are you sure you are assured?" And this is wonderful because each day you are finding out whether you are assured or not. And the Bombay Management Association has created an award. It is called BMA Assured Enterprise of the Year Award. And the first went to Byju's. And this is the score that we did for Byju's. And Byju, as you know, has skyrocketed. And we did that before he skyrocketed, by the way, in recognizing him. And how on each out of 5, they scored in different sort of categories. Similarly, we have done it for Swiggy, for example, by sort of marking and so on and so forth. You can do it for your own enterprise. I like to end finally by saying that the path forward is very exciting, and I like to leave you particularly for my budding industry friends, young friends, some mantras based on my life, which will be useful. I've been repeating them in ICT, so Smita Lele has probably heard it in every convocation, but I want to repeat because all good things have to be repeated. The first is aspirations are your possibilities. Keep them high. If you aim at Everest, at least you will reach Kanchenjunga. But if you aim at Kanchenjunga, you might not even reach Hanuman Teki. So keep them high. Second is like instant coffee, there is no instant success. Work hard in silence. Particularly for the young, I want to mention that. Let success make all the noise. I will be touching 80 now, but people who know me, they know me that I work 24/7, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. There is no substitute. Then purpose, perseverance, and passion matters. Perseverance is very critical. Too early to quit. Winners are never quitters. Quitters are never winners. When we fail, we get discouraged, but don't fail. First attempt in learning. I always say that your best guru is your last mistake, as long as you learn from it. But you must have a big purpose in life. Dhruva tara apan jana mantu. North Star. Very important. Then when doors of opportunity that you keep on knocking don't open, create your own doors. This may not be clear, so let me explain. When I came back to India in 1976, we were a very poor country. Not $2,000 GDP per capita, $100 GDP per capita. We did not have foreign exchange. For doing my experimental research, I needed an imported equipment. It will take 2 years. Digital clearance, not manufactured in India, certificate, and so on. So that door was not opening. What did I do? I said, what is the equipment God has given me? My brain. Why can't I use it? And I switched my field to modeling and simulation. And 1977, I started the work. 76 November I came, so my research started in 77. Within exactly 5 years, 82, I got the Bhatnagar Prize, which is the highest science award for young scientists under 45. Just within 5 years. Now, supposing I had kept my hands folded and said, oh, I will wait for that door to open, what would happen? I would still be waiting. So create your own doors. And final point, no limit to human endurance, achievement, imagination, excepting the one you put on your mind. You know, I learned this from Professor C.N.R. Rao. Professor M.M. Sharma and Professor C.N.R. Rao. Whatever I am today is because of them. And my mother, I have learned from 3 of them. And there's an interesting incident, you know, I became fellow of our society, FRS. In 360 years, there are only 3 engineering scientists who have become. And FRS is considered, in fact, when I became FRS, somebody said, now only 2 greater things can happen to you in life. One is Nobel Prize and second is death. One is sure and one is unsure. So it's a great honor. And I remember calling Professor Rao, telling him the great news. I thought he would applaud. He did not. He said, hey, not bad. Then I got another honor, some of which were read out by Prakash Rao. Each time I would phone him up, he would say, not bad. US National Academy of Inventors, I was the first one, not third, not seventh. Called him. He said, not bad. Yeah, I said, sir, what do I have to do to impress you? So he said, Mashelkar, you are climbing on a ladder of excellence, which have no limits. Accepting the limits you put on your head. So go limitless. So what does it mean, my friends? It means no matter what you achieve in your life, you have to say, my best is yet to come. This is not my best. So whether you are 18-year-old or 88-year-old, could be the last day of your life. But on that day also, you have to get up and say, my best is yet to come, and maybe today is the day. And you can just imagine if 1.3 billion Indians do it every morning, my best is yet to come, not just for myself, but for my society and for the nation. What a great nation will be. So these are my simple 5 Mashelkar mantras from which I have learned. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Mashelkar. I think it was very motivating. And I'm sure listening to you, you said you're touching 80 and seeing your enthusiasm, I guess I'm sure people younger than you definitely should catch this mantra of best is yet to come. So are we okay with taking few questions, sir?
Yeah, I have another engagement at 12 o'clock.
Okay.
So somebody is
12 o'clock?
waiting for me. So
Okay.
very quick questions. I don't mind.
Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 questions if anybody quickly.
Actually, lecture was not only, it was mesmerizing.
Thank you.
Not informative, but mesmerizing. Thank you.
Thank you. You are very kind. Thank you.
So maybe I'll pose the first question that a lot of our people gathered here are from the food industry, focused toward food industry. So if you can give 1 or 2 ideas or 1 or 2 things where our entrepreneurs or SMEs or startups can be able to leapfrog or pole vault.
Pole vault, not
Pole vault.
leapfrog.
Sorry, pole vault.
I think you have to get rid of that terminology. No, see, I think the food has changed. That's where I think when I talked about total innovation, that is most important for food industry, because it is not just technological innovation. It is business model innovation. It is workflow innovation. It is system delivery innovation. And today, during COVID time, what did you see? We survived because somebody, and you see the TV advertisements now, the way, so sort of just press a couple of buttons on mobile and you are serving food. So I think this is very critical. And also the technological innovations, new technologies that are coming, how do you integrate them? So as to say, I mean, it is not just extraction, but supercritical extraction. It is using sort of quantitative methods in terms of even determining taste. It is innovation based on our, let us say, traditional food systems, and then adding new technologies to that to create something that is distinctive. Remember the assured matrix. In that assured matrix, there is the last part is D, distinctive, not me too, not just sort of copying. So I think if you go through that matrix and put your bet on each one of them, so as to say, applicability, scalability, sustainability, user-friendly, of course, becomes very critical because every customer's taste is sort of different. So rather than going for mass, going for personalized, etc. I mean, there are a whole range of things. And CFTRI, Central Food Technology Research Institute, for example, or even our food department in our own institute, ICT, for example, you will see several such innovations that are coming up. So nothing is mundane, by the way. No industry is mundane. Every industry is knowledge industry. Don't consider food as not being a knowledge industry. It is a knowledge industry. It is research. It is innovation.
Okay, thank you. We'll take one last question. Dr. KD Yadav, I think, has raised his hand. Yadav, sir.
Hi, Nilesh and Dr. Mashelkar. I must really congratulate you, sir, for joining for this session. And it's really very insightful message, I must say. I can vouch and say you're still 18 at 80.
Thank you.
And we'll take your messages really into practice. Whole
Right.
team or FST is dedicated to take this forward, sir.
Thank you.
Actually, the aspirations, wonderful, sir.
Yes, absolutely. We have to keep our aspirations high. And that's what I was trying to say, that young boy from tier 2 and tier 3 city has a chance. For me, those who go to IITs, IIMs, and etc., that is the analysis I did.
Wonderful.
I said, where do they come from?
Yes.
Because the conventional thinking is that, you must go to IIT, IIMs, and then you can make it. No.
Yeah.
They're coming from sort of ordinary background, from tier 3 cities. Some of them are dropouts, by the way.
No, one of the aspiration is wonderful. You are 18 or 80. Keep having aspirations.
Thank you.
That is very inspiring, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So,
It was very
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you.
very inspiring, and the best is yet to come
Yes.
Yeah.
from all of us. So
Yeah,
And,
but-
very, very impressive.
I have
Thank
personal
you,
thanks
sir.
to Dr. Mashelkar
yeah.
for my request.
Yeah,
You have joined over here. Thank you very much.
yeah.
We
I also
promise
must
if
you.
you have
thank
any
both of
questions, we
you,
will gather it and send it across to sir.
Dr.
Yeah.
Mashelkar,
Actually,
as well as Dr.
please
Kondekar. Thank you so
don't,
much.
sort of,
I got this opportunity to listen to him. Thank you.
I would suggest that please note down my email ID.
Okay.
My email ID is very simple. Ram at mashelkar.com. Very simple.
Okay.
At mashelkar.com. So don't bother to send everything and bombard Nitish or Prakash Rao. Send it directly to me and I will respond to each one of them. I can assure.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
sir.
Ram at mashelkar.com.
Yes, noted. Thank you.
Great.
We promise
you
you,
so
sir,
much,
and
sir.
we will work on your success mantra. For
But you start using the assured matrix, by the way.
Yes, sir.
In everything that you do in your business, basically every enterprise, even institution, we should evaluate UDCT on assured, by the way.
Yes, sir. And on behalf of all of us, I really thanks to Nilesh, sir, because they always help us, always boost us for the innovation forward and creating the new and new idea. They have
Thank
created
you.
lots of group for us and they are always guide us.
Thank
We
you.
really thank for that.
Thank
Yes,
you.
yes, thank you.
Thank
So
you.
we
So,
need,
I take this
Thank you.
opportunity to
time for the
raise an official vote of thanks. So thank you, Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar, sir, for accepting our invite and taking time out of your busy schedule. And I will also like to thank Dr. Kondekar, sir, and all our other people who are gathered here or are watching us on YouTube. So thank you again, Dr. Mashelkar, sir. And I announce that this is the official close of the program. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Renu. Bye-bye. Thank you, Mr. Santanu. Dr. Kulkarni. Namaskar.
Now, I hope you will send us the link.
Yeah. Recording you'll
Okay.
get. And link we are already sharing.
No, but that we cannot copy. I'm trying that.
Okay, I will send it to you.
Yeah, fine. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Nilesh. अरे मैं कौन really,